Well, I think there's a couple of things that go into it for us as Christians. One of the things that I think about first is that we as Christians can't take these issues personally ourselves. We have to remember that our identity is found in Christ and not in who we are in this world in the flesh. So if I let, for instance, what may naturally be an issue for me, whether it's racial or political, affect me and get me going emotionally, then it's kind of hard to keep the focus on Jesus. I think what also goes along with that, besides, when you don't keep things personal, you don't pick sides or align with a particular issue in a worldly way, right? These worldly issues we're talking about. I don't pick sides. I don't align myself with one way or the other, or this way is right, this way is wrong. Even though at times you may say, hey, that's pretty unjust, what is happening. I try not to, align myself with one particular view or the other, because I believe that when we do that, we then point people towards the issue and we point the church towards these temporary things instead of where the real problem is. So when I talk to people, or personally, right, as Christians, when people come up to us, they may mention these issues or they may be upset. I try and remind them of where the real problem lies. And say, you know what, this is an imperfect world, and therefore it's imperfect because it's full of imperfect people. That means there's always going to be problems that happen in this world. The real issue is sin, and the real issue is behind the scenes is the evil one, the devil, who's working in people to create all these issues. So I think when we do that, we're helping to point people away from the temporary problems. And lastly, what I think about is I try not to get involved also because of the fact that these are temporary issues. And imagine, even if we were as Christians to focus on a temporary issue like race relations or some politically charged issue, another politically charged issue, let's say we were to fix that by focusing and rallying behind that issue to try and fix an injustice. There would just still be another one and another one and another one, because we're not actually addressing the root of the problem, which again has to do with sin. So really what I try and focus on with people is pointing them to what the real issue is, not getting involved as Peter said, or Paul told Timothy, right, not getting involved in civilian affairs, but rather helping people to see the real issue of what we as Christians need to be focusing on is saving souls. Right? And focusing on the eternal problem, which is making sure that people get to heaven. And the only way we're going to do that is when people come to us with issues, problems, to say, hey, there is a cure and a remedy for this issue. It's Jesus. He's the cure. He's the remedy. If we align ourselves with Christ, then we change the way we look, we change the way we act, and then we can become the fix of the problem that's happening in this world, one person at a time. And that's kind of like my thoughts on that issue.